What's up, y'all? This is Anglers and this is Barber Son TV. And today we got Baltimore versus DC. I'm going to tell you the difference between Baltimore and I'm going to tell you the difference between DC. Everybody be thinking DMV. DMV mean DC, Maryland, Virginia. When you really from DC, Maryland, Virginia, that don't mean that. That only mean that to an out of town. Maryland is not connected to Baltimore if you from the DMV. If you're not from the DMV, Maryland is connected to Baltimore, if that makes sense to y'all. I'm trying not to lose y'all. It's the DMV and Baltimore. Baltimore is by itself. We're going to call that B. DMV B. The B is Baltimore. They got their own letter, their own country, their own language, their own clothes, their own style, their own everything. DC is DC. Maryland is Maryland. Virginia is Virginia. Nobody in Virginia acts like nobody in Maryland. Nobody in Maryland acts like nobody in DC. They think they act like people in DC. People in Maryland think they act like people in DC. But a DC person know a true DC person. It's a DC thing. A true Maryland person know a true Maryland person. You'll know if a person from the city, they call DC the city. If they from Maryland, they call DC the city. If they call from VA, they call DC the city. The city does not call themselves the city. That's just like if you're from Maryland, you don't say you're from Virginia. If you're from Virginia, you don't say you're from DC. DC does not call themselves the city. DC is DC. Southeast DC is the heart and soul of DC. The heart and soul of DC is the heart and soul of Maryland and the heart and soul of Virginia. If we put the DMV together, the DC is 1, Maryland is 2, Virginia is 3. 1 is where everything goes down. It get unchy in DC. 2, it goes down there too, but it's watered down a little bit. And 3, it get a little bit better. It's like levels to it. But it get unchy in Maryland too. Don't get Maryland wrong, because some parts of Maryland you can get knocked off in. So the difference between Baltimore. Baltimore sits by itself. Baltimore is their own country. Baltimore guys, you might see them with gold fronts. Most like this, a black guy, gold fronts, tracksuit, maybe a Under Armour or a Nike sweatsuit, Under Armour shoes, Louis Vuitton hat. They'll put the tennis outfit on with the Louis hat, the gold fronts, and they get a lot of money. A Baltimore street guy can stand on a corner and have 100 bags and go hand in hand, all 100 bags. A DC street guy cannot stand on no corner and sell 100 bags of anything. First of all, you can't be on the corner too long anyway, because it's so much going on in DC, ain't no hanging on the corners no more. So all that outside, 20 people on the block every day, don't you know? In Baltimore, the hustlers in Baltimore, they gotta get up. Those street guys, they gotta get up, go make their money. They gonna be on their block every day. That's where they at. They clientele know they there. Like, they got a spot. They clientele know they gonna be at that spot. They junkies know where to meet them at. So if they had ops like in the city of DC, if your ops knew where to meet you at, like, you can't do that in DC. Like, your junkies know to meet you right here. This time you can be outside serving hand to hand. They'll die. It's like art of war in the city in DC. DC, you got ops. You can't sit on no block and nobody had no direction to you at all times. They know where you at, what time you gonna be there. I told you a Baltimore guy can stand on the block and go hand to hand all day. Going hand to hand all day mean he gonna be out there from 9 to 8 or whatever time every day. The junkies know that. They gonna catch their little rush. If the ops know he gonna be out there 9 to 8 every day, he gonna be out there. We know how to get him. We know how to find him. End of him. That can't work in the city. It's a little bit faster. And the Baltimore guy on the block, they might really be on the block. Some Baltimore got complexes and streets though. But like some Baltimore projects or streets, they be from blocks. It'd be like it's a like 2-sided street with houses all the way down the street. And like one car can barely fit down the street. Like one car fit down the street, the other car got stopped while a car coming down the street. The streets are real small. Like the street across the street, not too far from each other. Like that house that's across the street, not too far from each other. It's a little street that guys be on in Baltimore. So basically what I'm saying, A drive-by shooting in Baltimore would be a mass shooting. Like something that happened in DC. DC, you might see 75 shots. That's regular. 80 shots, 100 rounds. That's regular in DC. 100 rounds on this one street in Baltimore, like all these row houses got hit by bullets and 100 round markers on a one street. This is a mass shooting. So if the violence of the DC violence, it's more violence in Baltimore. It's more killing because there's more access to each other. I told you they stand on blocks, they know each other. They cause man, they location is more revealed if they outside. In the DC, your location can be revealed, but you still got to come up in the hood and get a person. I told you they on street corners, blocks, they out and about. They still making hits. You can't really move like that in the city. So if a mass shooting happen on one of them little streets every day, just say this block gets spent 2 times the same week or 4 times in a month, over 400 rounds, 100 rounds every time, that's going to look unreal in the news. Like, that's going to look weird in Baltimore. That happens in DC on the regular. They might let off 100 rounds, 60, 90. It's just different. But the killing is higher in Baltimore. And when it comes to getting money, a Baltimore guy gets way more money than a DC street guy because a Baltimore guy can sit on the block and hustle. I don't even think the police mess with them. The police mess with them when they get millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands or a dope fiend. They put out a batch and a lot of dope fiends down the block and the FBI got picked the case up just regularly patrolling it. I don't think the police even mess with them. They got more lenient rules with the police. Like, they more looser. The police a little bit more free with them. DC police, the president live here. They ain't really having that. They harassing you all day. You can't stand on those street corners. 20 guys, 5 guys, 4 guys, anything standing on the street block in DC is probable for a shakedown. Like, it look weird. It's like they wrong, they lowering. Like, DC street corner or street blocks, the neighbors call the police on you. You can't even sit outside. They don't even look real. Police come make y'all move. Police don't even let you, unless you're like in a Section 8 government complex, like a government assistant complex up in there. They don't really care about you up in there too much because it's like Section 8. They patrol it. When they come out to something tragic happen, you know how the police maneuver in the hood. But Baltimore police, I feel like they just let you just do whatever, bro, until you just, too many dope fiends die and now they gotta come get you or you do something high or kill somebody. But if you just get money, stay under the radar, you probably make $1 million in Baltimore. I know regular guy can get $1 million in Baltimore as long as you save your money. It ain't nothing to buy in Baltimore. Ain't nothing good in Baltimore. I love Baltimore. Like, they got their own country. Their own ways. Baltimore, I feel like Baltimore got better food than the DC. I'm saying all them Baltimore spots, I feel like Baltimore soul food and cooking, like in tune to the black culture. They food is more in tune to the black culture and they got torch food. I feel like they got better food than DC, but DC just starting to get like on the cooking wave for real, like super duper cooking wave, entrepreneur, independent people. Like, that just came like 5 years ago. They just got real heavy on that. People opening up little restaurants, people on Instagrams doing selling trays out their house. Whoever in the DMV got the best tray, tap in with me for some promo. I could have been eating your tray right now and put you in this video, throwing you up, tapping me for some promo. See who got the best trays. I can get your tray sold out if it's worth it. And if it's really worth buying, because I ain't gonna lie to my people, so don't send me no nonsense. But like, I get Baltimore food. I say Baltimore soul food, and they food more touch to the black culture than DC. DC chefs and DC people gonna hate me for saying that, but I feel like Baltimore got better food. Far as culture-wise, I feel like Baltimore more together as a whole. They might not be together in Baltimore, but on the outside of Baltimore, they more together than DC. DC out of town, some DC guys out of town. If it's jail, DC gonna roll together because they got to. Out of town DC guys, they might not even link up, might not even talk to each other, they don't even care. Baltimore guys outside of Baltimore, they are still friends. Like, some Baltimore guys, just say some Baltimore guys with some other Baltimore guys, and they get into it with some guys from another state. out of town and they don't know each other. Just from them being from Baltimore, they're gonna be with each other. I feel like some DC guys see some other DC guys fighting out of town, they'll come back and be like, ah, your cousin who got whooped down such and such. It all happened at the Boardwalk like they did Davey. You know how they go. But far as the clubs, DC got the best clubs. DC got the best clubs. Like DC nightlife, like the club scene here is like on a different level compared to Baltimore. Like Baltimore clubs can't even compete with the DMV in no way. Females, DC females, not Southeast, but the DMV alone. Like the DMV females shit on Baltimore by 1,000. Baltimore, all Baltimore, I don't mean no harm. All the bad girls in Baltimore moved from Baltimore. They don't live anymore. All the girls in Baltimore now, they got like the horse face, but they got the bodies. The bodies, they fixed the bodies all over America now. But they got the titties, the no waist, the butt. They got everything, the little beauty salon and all that. But to get a beauty salon, you can own a beauty salon in Baltimore. First of all, baby girl, I know you winning, you a black-owned boss and all that, but you own the businesses in Baltimore. Don't make me feel no type of way. A house on the corner costs $1. Like, you ain't put too much down to get that. I can go buy the block, baby girl. We ain't too interested in all that. You still look like a horse in the face. Should have fixed that chin. But, yeah. Baltimore Jones, like the girls that live in Baltimore, they ain't nothing now. All the old bad Baltimore Jones, they moved out of Baltimore. DC, DMV girls shit on Baltimore by 1 billion. A Baltimore girl might got more to offer than a DC girl though. Because a Baltimore girl, I told you, I feel like all the Baltimore girls come with a boutique in the body and the designer clothes. I don't know if they real, but they got the look. And they be like sneaky famous. All Baltimore girls be sneaky famous. I don't know, Baltimore be looking big as shit. It be a random girl from Baltimore. She get 19,000 likes. And she got 56,000 followers. Why? Who is she? That's a little such and such. She don't do nothing. She just from Baltimore. And she know everybody and dummy and she stupid. And she be on all trying to catch all the highlights. But other than that, DC and Baltimore is two different things. Like our lingo and they lingo, our language is two different languages. If you put a Baltimore person in between 1,000 people, I can pick a Baltimore person out of any people in the world. I don't care who it is out of another country. You know a Baltimore person out of anybody because they accent that strong. And first of all, they outfit gonna match their words, and their words gonna match their appearance, and you gonna know they from Baltimore. All three gonna go together: the words, the appearance, and the outfit. It's gonna be if it's a nigga, it's gonna be a fast ass sweatsuit. Couple yo stupids and dummies. And he can't say two. He gonna say two. It's gonna be ooh. It's gonna be a ooh at the end of this two. Two ooh. And a DC guy, it's gonna be a mo. But bro, some DC guys don't even say mo. Some people just be like a rock of other substitute words. But a DC guy, they'll call him country in Atlanta. They'll say he sound country, but Atlanta voices sound different to us too. But a DC guy, you will know his tone. You can't really pick out a DC guy voice out of 1,000 people because they might think he from somewhere else. You can mistake a DC guy from being from somewhere else from his voice because it's not distinct as a Baltimore accent. Baltimore accent is like one of one. That's what make me like Baltimore, like the way they speak and talk. It's like you gotta talk to a dummy here and there. If you don't talk to a dummy here and there, you ain't need like a real person. Like they be funny. It's like talking to Avatar. But I ain't gonna do it like that. Shout out to the dummies. But DC and Baltimore overall, I give Baltimore ups on the money. But like far as some war, like not even war, I don't want to say that but far as like on the street type of things, if some DC guys are getting to with some Baltimore guys, it'd be like you would know that they getting into it with some out of towners. Like you would know it wouldn't be no average Baltimore. Like it wouldn't be no average Baltimore thing. Like it'd be 80 rounds. No Baltimore got like 80 rounds. Like it's just weird. Like but Baltimore and DC, I wish we could get along. Like I think we do get along for the best part. I feel like that's just an old thing you gotta say. Like Baltimore, we don't to this. Everybody I know from Baltimore love their dummies, and all the dummies that I know love their DC men. So like all that nonsense between Baltimore and this, but if we was out of town and we had to link up with Baltimore, we would. So all you other cities, man, I'm telling you, we ain't trying to hear that. Shout out to the dummies. Shout out to DC. That's just the difference between Baltimore and DC. But, and that's another thing. And the difference is, I forgot what I was about to say. But yeah. And before I go, all Baltimore got left is, I ain't gonna start with Baltimore, I'm start with DC. DC lost everything. We ain't got no more Murray and Burry. Some of y'all may not have enough money to pay nobody. The Redskins ain't got no name. We ain't even got no logo. If Trump don't get back in 2024, we will be down bad. We just need Trump. Only person gonna save us is Trump in DC. Baltimore, they on their last shell. Like, Baltimore got 1 week. Everything can go bad for Baltimore 1 week. I swear. There's one move. I tell y'all this. Baltimore can go extinct. Like, the whole city can die. Like, not die, like pass away, but like go extinct and lose off the map. Nobody never speak about Baltimore in one move. If Javonte Davis lose this fight next week and Lamar Jackson get traded from the Ravens, Baltimore is done. I'm talking about all the way done. Nacho banger, Bobson.